but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Take you like a pill.
Alright guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today we have something very special. We're going to be throwing on an Fdf Fab angle kit on the 350Z. If you guys haven't seen my last video already, be sure to check that out. That's where I do an unboxing and explanation of the Mega Mantis kit from Fdf Fab. And also I have a free shipping code if you are looking to purchase anything off their website for yourself. The code is right here. I hit up Josiah, the owner of Fdf Fab. I told him I'd be doing this video, and he was kind enough to make me a free shipping code that I can pass on to you guys. Yeah, just be sure to check out my unboxing video, and after this video will be my review of the angle kit after it's all done and installed and aligned, and I'll be explaining how it handles and how the car drives. So yeah, with that being said, let's jump into my install of it. So now we have the wheels off, and the next step is to take all the stock suspension pieces off, which means the upper control arm and coilover, brakes, rotors, knuckles, and on these especially, that little brace that runs from there all the way across, that stiffening brace. So now I have everything out of the car besides the coilover and the brakes, obviously. So we will not be able to run our ABS sensor, but that's not an issue for me anyway, because my ABS right now is disabled anyway, so I'm just going to take that sensor out. And everything has to come out. What I'm going to do first is install that inner tie rod, and there's a couple things we need to keep in mind when we do that. Is they are different from left to right, so but you guys will know how. When you install them, you just have to make sure that these tabs line up with that, and then this part is facing this part is facing straight out towards the front of the car, and those tabs has to line up with the little notches on there, so it's gonna sit like kind of like that. Sorry, I'm only a one-man crew filming this right now. So and then this bolt right here, this bolt is gonna go through there, and it's gonna go underneath there. So that's how that's gonna be. That bolt is gonna stick out through the bottom of the tie rod. I'll pull that back out. And then this is a 14 mil right there. I had a really hard time finding an actual socket for this. So what I did, since I work in a shop, I just found an old head bolt, and this is really high strength steel, and I just basically put a nut on the other end and made it solid to where I can use this as a wrench. So I can just put a normal socket on this side and just spin it and just tighten it down that way. And it's very important that you guys put Loctite on this. Red Loctite, just pretty much soak it. You don't want this coming off because you can't torque this down too hard, otherwise you risk damaging the actual tie rod inside the steering rack. So Loctite this and torque it to spec. So I got the inner tie rod in. Yeah, that my little tool that I made, where'd it go? This thing, it ended up working really well. It torqued it down pretty good. I torqued it to spec. I put lots of red Loctite on it. Then I just tightened these two down. And for now, I'm not going to run a bellow boot, which is the boot that covers this whole thing, because this is not a street car. I don't drive it every day, so it's not going to get exposed to dust or water or anything like that. But if you are going to be dailying your car on this, I would go to like some shop or just look online. They have universal bellow boots that'll cover the whole thing all the way out to the actual outer tie rod. So if you guys want to go that route, you can, but I'm just going to leave it like this for simplicity, and I might integrate another boot later on, but I just don't need it right now. So now we're going to move on to the lower control arm, but before we actually do touch the control arm, we have to take the bolt off, or the Heim joint that goes on the lower control arm, so which is going to be this one. It's the bigger one out of the two, and this might fall apart as soon as you take it off, so you got to be careful. Might have to pry it out. So it didn't fall apart, that's good. And then we're gonna put this aside for now. And again, everything is different from left to right, so you guys are gonna have to figure that out, which side it goes. It's pretty easy. So before we put the control, or take the control arm, sorry, there's a helicopter flying right by my house. Okay, so before we put the control arm on, you want to save these. Do not lose this along with its hardware. And speaking of hardware, I've already lost the bolt for it. Oh, it's right here. And then we're gonna thread this one on the inside part, which is gonna be right there. And then after that, before we can actually throw the control arm on, there's little tabs right here that we gotta grind down. These are stoppers for the OEM control arm, so I'm not gonna film that. I'm just gonna grind those down, then I'll show you guys what to do from there. All right, guys, so now I have grinded the tabs down. My ears are ringing still. They're down pretty smooth, so both sides. Now we can actually install this control arm. As you can see, I have taken the tension rod out of it, that little two-piece that goes over here. I've taken that out for now. So it just makes it easier. Yeah, that bolt pops right through. That's good news. Okay, so that's the main control arm done. So these heim joints, one of them has actually a reverse thread, so you got to keep that in mind. So we're gonna turn counterclockwise to tighten. All right, guys. So while I was working on it,
this is fat. Like,
shut up! I'm doing a video. Shut up.
Shut up.
I'm doing. Yeah. While I'm working on it, my buddies with the Fdf Fab showed up, and that's a stock G, so we're not gonna show that. But yeah, this is the car that I mentioned earlier. This is the one with the Fdf Fab. So there it is. This car is really fun to drive. I've driven this a bunch. Alright guys, so now I have this side, like I want to say 80% done. I just have to put the brake on. I just put the wheel on temporarily just to see how it looks. And that's the angle right now. That's not full lock, as I can't go full lock yet because it's not sitting on the ground. But that right there is about, I want to say 65 to 70 degrees around there. So it's pretty good though. So I just got to tighten everything down now to spec. And I got to tighten all the hub bolts down. I got to put the brake caliper on and then set it down on the ground and then see how everything looks. Alright, that's good. You guys straighten it again. So it's now about 2 or 3 weeks after since you guys seen that last clip. It's taking me a long time because I've been busy with work and everything, so I haven't had a chance to finish off the video. But the car has been done for a while now. I've drifted it a bunch. I've taken it to a bunch of events. It feels really, really nice to drive. It's like a completely different car. I do want to apologize. Like I said, I was not able to film like an in-depth how to install this kit because, like I said, it was just me filming. It's sometimes very hard to record and do a video at the same time. I tried my best, but it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it. And because of that reason, you guys should go check out a YouTuber named Smokey Drift. He has a 350Z. He has the same kit on his car. He did an actual in-depth install with his dad on how to install the kit. It's a really good video. I watched it before I purchased my kit, so highly recommend checking that video out. And so the car's basically done. Now, I want to point a couple things out. The angle kit, it does really good. No issues at all. Performs really good. Only real hiccup that I had with the kit is with the brake bolts. So these are the stock OEM brake caliper bracket bolts, and they were too long because the brake ear, or the mounting ear on the kit, is a little bit thinner than what OEM was. So I had to add a spacer. This is a grade 10 nut that I'm using to space the bolts out. You can do this if you guys want, but I'm just doing this temporary because I couldn't find bolts. So later on when I find smaller bolts, I'm just gonna go ahead and install those, but this works fine temporarily. I have no braking issues. And then also you guys are gonna have to adjust your bump stop to where your wheel doesn't make contact with the tie rod, because that's a risk of bending the tie rod if your wheel actually makes contact with the tie rod at full lock. So I adjusted my bump stop pretty far out. So this is how it's almost sitting at its full lock right now, but it's got potential to go a lot more than this, because this is where I have it stopped. So the way I'll be able to do that is if I get thinner wheels or lower offset wheels, and I can actually go to full lock. But I've driven the car like this at an event. It did fantastic. I will be making a video about that pretty soon. And also I was having some squeaking when I made movements with the steering wheel. So what I did with that, I knew for a fact it was going to be the Heim joint, so I just went ahead and sprayed them down with WD-40. That kind of lubricates it. That's why they're kind of dirty now. I don't know if you're supposed to use WD-40 to lubricate it or not, but I mean, it worked for me, and I don't see a reason why not to, because if these joints go out, you can just buy another ones, because Josiah carries these in stock on his website. So yeah, those are really the only two hiccups that I have, were the brake caliper bolts and then the squeaking. So that's why they're kind of dirty right there. You can see they've been sprayed down with WD-40, and everything works really well. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching. Stick around for the next video. That one's gonna be the review video, and where I show off how the car actually drives with the angle kit on. And yeah, see you guys later.